90 days can absolutely change your life. And I'm talking from my own personal experience here, because in the last 90 days, I have hit so many different milestones that previously I thought was going to be out of reach. So for an example, I have stayed in one of the most expensive hotels in London on the most amazing experience I never even would have anticipated could happen to me. I've been offered money to present, I've been offered money to speak on radio shows, and all these things have happened within the last 90 days. It is absolutely true that I have been working really, really hard for the last few years to get to this point, but it cannot just be a coincidence that in the last 90 days everything has started to come into fruition. There are still lots of other things I want to achieve, but I'm absolutely confident that because of the way that I've changed my mindset and because of the way that I'm now presenting myself, these things are going to happen for me. So what is it that has helped me to hit these milestones? What is it that has helped me to have more income coming into my business, more things occurring, more experiences being sent my way? So the first and foremost thing is I have gotten myself a whole bunch of audacity. I have got myself my own nerve, my own confidence, and I have started to ask for some of these things. So previously, when I've been asked to do things like TV shows, I haven't asked for any money. I've had my expenses covered, so petrol or food and things like that, but I've never actually been paid to do the work. And you know what? A lot of work does go into some of these shows. I've spent hours. I've probably foregone actual money of my own from my own business. That has meant it's been a loss for me to be able to present on some of these TV shows, but I never felt like I was worthy enough to actually ask for remuneration, to ask to be paid to do the job. And then the more I've thought on this as time has gone on, I've realised how foolish was that, because actually the people that make the programme were getting paid, the people that were turned up to film were getting paid, the people that were doing the directing, the producing, everything else, they were getting paid. And I was the face of some of these programmes. I put myself out there, and I thought that was the thing to do, because I was quite new to social media, I was quite new to YouTube and all those things, and I felt like I didn't deserve to ask for money. I felt wrong, just felt wrong to ask for money, when actually I wasn't valuing myself and my time. And I was repeatedly then asked to do other programs, and in hindsight I'm wondering, was it because they actually liked what I did? Was it because they felt like I was good at what they'd asked me to do? Or was it because I was free? So when I was recently approached to do another TV programme, and I realised that it would conflict with some of my own work and things like that, and actually the amount of time that actually went into filming, I decided to ask for money. I explained that it wouldn't work out for me financially, and they kept chasing, and I knew that they were keen on me as the person to be within the TV show, and I knew that it was me and the things that I do and the way that I come across on camera, because they told me already. And this was before I'd even asked for the money. They were excited to work with me, and locations and timings and everything else were fitting in, and I knew that they were really keen to work with me. And so when I suggested my figure, I nearly halved the figure. I nearly sent half a number, and I sent it over, and within a couple of hours they come back, yeah, absolutely fine. And I kind of now kicked myself and thought, maybe I should have asked for more. Maybe I should have even had even more audacity. Maybe I should have said, no, it's this much, and then let them, counter come back to me. But in hindsight, that's great, that's fine. And that kind of leads me to my next point, which I'll come back to in a moment. But I have a lesson that I've learned there. I've learned that I have value. And if you want me to do a job, then you need to pay me. And that is going to be one of the most valuable tools that I'm going to take with me going forward into the next 90 days. And this has been true for other things as well. So for example, I created my own LinkedIn profile. I started putting things on there about being a presenter and being a speaker and being a radio show host. I then had radio shows contacting me directly, and not just asking me if I was available, but asked me for a large period of time and offered me an amount of money, which was so significant. It's made a massive difference to my own business account this month. So that is going to be incredible. And it wasn't something that I had to ask for. They offered it before I even asked for any money. So I think that was one of the things that triggered me, my asking to be paid for the TV show. So I was thinking, well, if they're prepared to pay, then surely everyone else should be prepared to pay for me and my time. So that has really helped my confidence in that way. And then things like being approached to just do these things, it's been so amazing. And then when I was working on a particular contract down in London at the Shard Hotel and building the contacts there, they offered to put us up in the Shard Hotel. The room that we were working in was like so beautiful, so incredible. The room we ended up staying in was out of this world. I couldn't ever justify or imagine myself paying to stay somewhere like that. It's just never going to be in my budget that I'm working with. And also, I don't know whether I could ever justify those prices. But oh my goodness, wow. What an opportunity. What an experience for someone like me. And again, that was one of those things that, you know what, I'm working really hard here. We're doing these things. And it's almost like I should get that. We deserve that. We worked for that. And it was another one of those moments where if we didn't ask, we weren't going to get. And you've got to start to implement that in your life. And if you are trying to make those changes in 90 days, you have then got to start having that confidence, that audacity, that nerve to start asking for things. Because if you don't ask, certainly not going to get. And if you don't ask, things aren't going to change. If you've been doing the same thing over and over and over and you've not seen that massive growth or that massive change, then you need to change something. You need to start asking for it. The worst thing they can do is say no. And if they say no, okay, why? That's fine. That's all right. We've asked the question, we've taken the chance. But what if they said yes? What if they say yes? Because then the only thing that happens is that you feel more confident and you start to grow and then you start to value yourself, just like I've been doing. So this kind of leads me into my next one, which is what we call like a blameless culture. So all those times where I reflect on the fact that I worked on those TV shows and I didn't get paid. I could sit here going back and going, oh, I didn't get paid, I should have asked for the money then, or I should have said something, and I didn't. And that's fine. But what I can do now is say, well, next time I know. Let's move on. That happened. Can't change it. There's no point in sitting there dwelling over the past because I've only got 90 days to change things. I haven't got 90 days to sit and dwell. That's not going to move me forward. That's not going to get me the things that I want to achieve. But what you are going to do with this concept is think about, okay, well, this happened and why did it happen? I know I didn't get paid because I didn't ask to get paid. That simple. Okay, so then we're going to think about, well, how can we change that going forward? So this happened because of this. How can we fix it? What are we going to do going forward? So those 3 little simple steps, and then just move straight on. Let's just start applying it to things going forward, because we cannot change the past. As long as we keep thinking about that, then it's going to help us go forward. We're going forwards, not backwards. The next thing that happened and helped me is the whole getting over the whole cringe factor. So when I first did my first YouTube video for this channel, I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure that I was really brave enough or confident enough or I was the right person. Who would want to listen to me? Who would want to see me? And when actually it got quite a lot of traction and we got monetized really, really quickly and things started to happen and I started to grow my business from it, I realised that actually there's no place for being cringe. You just got to move on. You just got to do it, move on, keep growing. And then what I didn't do was take that feeling and move it over into the other social media. I didn't really understand Instagram, and I didn't understand TikTok, and I didn't understand Twitter or X or all those things. And also, because I didn't understand it, I didn't want to look stupid, I didn't want to look foolish, and I really took a step back and I didn't start to post properly. I didn't start to utilise it like a business. I didn't start to do what I'm doing now. And do you know what the biggest kicker is? That for me personally, I mean, I love watching absolutely everybody, but what I can see is if I had done that in the first place, if I got over the whole cringe and like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't really understand, I feel really silly kind of feeling. If I had got over that, I am pretty confident I would have been doing even better than what I'm doing right now, because I can see people who started off watching my videos and other people's videos on here who then got more confidence than me and posted on Instagram and TikTok, and they have grown massively and they've taken the concept that I had in the first place but I wasn't brave enough to work with, and they've grown themselves a lovely thriving business. And that has sort of helped me and encouraged me, and I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. They can do it, I can do it. And I've seen such a massive growth over the last 90 days from when I started posting regularly and consistently. Honestly, I was so surprised. So that leads me into my next point. Get over the cringiness, but then you start to monitor, assess and track. So I set up a little system when I noticed 90 days ago that things were going crazy. Things were like getting quite a lot of traction over on my other social media pages. Things were growing really, really fast. And I started to make notes. I started to track and monitor and assess. So when I had something that went really, really well and did great, I could see a massive jump in the numbers, and I've got them all written down. They started off on post-it notes, and then I started to create myself a proper timeline and a proper growth chart. And there's loads of different things that you can do to monitor your own growth and your own progress, because if I can't see why something is growing or why something is getting better or why something is bringing in more viewers and more followers, then how can I know what to do again to maintain this consistently? How do I know that something is working and I can track back? Because on something like TikTok and Instagram, where it is very fast paced and there's lots of shorts and things like that, it's tricky to keep an eye on everything all in one go, and you sometimes don't always know why one thing has worked and something else hasn't. But by monitoring it and watching it grow with physical numbers and assessing and looking at all the analytics, and the great thing is about all these social media platforms is that there is loads of analytics tools in there. You just got to delve into them, start to understand them. They can be quite scary and a little bit overwhelming at first, but once you get familiarized with them and you can start to use them, and you can use them to plan and schedule. And that was the other big thing that has changed for me, is that I've now set myself a bit of a schedule, so I know exactly what I need to post and when I want to post it. I'm familiar with things that are occurring in the calendar, so yeah, you've got your obvious things like Christmas and Easter and those kinds of things coming up, but it helps you to make relevant content then. But then also I'm putting myself onto courses, and I'm getting familiar with how things run and move and all those other things that made it feel more cringy, bringing back to the cringe thing. But I'm having the audacity to then say to people like TikTok, great, can you put me on this course? Can you put me forward for this? Can you teach me how to do this? I went on a Zoom call with TikTok, and just something like that was brilliant for myself, because it just felt like a minefield. But I had the audacity to ask for something that previously was too cringy to do. And all these things together have really helped with what I'm doing. All these things have helped me hit those milestones that we talked about. So monitor and track, so that when you can see something is working really well, it can then help you with the next step, which is rinse and repeat. So if something has gone really, really well, if I've done a great video, I can then say, well, obviously this was really popular, it's got me loads of viewers, it's got loads of new followers, and it's something I need to repeat and do again. And I failed to do that quite a few times in the past. So things like my most popular videos quite often are my cooking on budget videos, which I love doing. They are really time consuming. It does require a little bit of investment, more from my part than just a sit down casual video like this one. But those are ones that are getting me the most money. Those are the ones that are getting me the most followers. Those are the ones that you clearly want to see on this channel. But then there are other videos a bit like this one, where we sit down and we talk about growth, and we talk about financial growth, and we talk about personal growth, and those other things, like how to earn 10k in 1 year. That's one of the most popular videos on this channel. So I try and do something similar to that again. So I need to sort of focus on the things that are working and double down on it and repeat it and go from there. It's going to help me grow the Budget Mum UK, which is what I want to do, because it helps me to help you, helps me get the message out there, helps me to share my ideas and my methods and those things that have helped me to pay off over £100,000 worth of debt. And that was the whole purpose and the whole point of me setting up this channel, is that I wanted to share with those things with people, because I had absolutely no idea. I had no clue. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start to get over that debt payment. But then I started to share it on here. Once I found the ways that work for me, I started to share on here, and I have had so many messages, emails, inboxes, DMs, everything, explaining how the methods and the things that I've shown them have helped them. People are telling me, I just had a message just the other day, somebody's about to make their final payment in December of all their debt, and they are so excited and they're so grateful, because what I was doing on YouTube has helped them to do that. And that's the point. That's what I wanted to do. That's where I wanted to be. So if I can grow this channel and I can get that message out to everybody else who might need it, then my job is done, and that excites me. So it's knowing when to repeat, but then also at the same time knowing when to pivot. So knowing when something isn't working. So if I start on a method and I try a different route or a different tactic, and then say, actually, that's not really working for us, that's not what you want to see, it's not going to help us grow, then having that confidence, having that audacity, having that nerve to go, let's just go in a different direction. That didn't work, we're going to try something else. All of those things are going to help me grow in the next 90 days. So I've done 90 days and I've had loads of experiences, and I'm so excited, not just for the next 90 days, but for the actual next 2025. I'm really looking forward to using all these new confidences and using all these new ideas and implementing them so that I can grow the Budget Mum UK. I want to hit 10,000 followers. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put my heart on my sleeve and say that's where I want to be. That's going to be my next goal, to hit 10,000 followers next year. If we can get there, that would be absolutely incredible. And then it just means I'm able to share so much more with everyone. So yeah, that is my plan for the next 90 days. And then for the next year is just to turn up, be audacious, have the nerve, have the confidence, ask for things, grow, making sure I'm tracking and trending and making sure I'm on target for everything, and just keep doing what we're doing. Because if I'm not going to look after me, nobody else is going to look after me. I'm a self-employed person. I'm a self-employed mom. If I don't put the work in, if I don't ask for these things, my business will fail. My business will fail and I'll have to go back to full-time teaching, and it's really not something that I want to do, nor is it something that's going to work for my family at the moment. So I have to make this business work. I've got to make it successful. And the only way that I'm going to make it successful is by implementing all of these things going forward. I hope this has helped you plan out your next 90 days or even your next few months. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.